Hi everybody, I hope that you're all doing really well. So today I am back to do a little bit of a TBR for Her-Storyathon. For those of you who haven't checked out the announcement video that I did a little while ago, Her-Storyathon is a read-along hosted by myself and Brittany over at Literarily Smitten, which is basically commemorating Women's History Month. All through the month of March, we are challenging you to read at least one book. It can be fiction or non-fiction, but it has to be about a woman who lived somehow in the past. However, separately to that challenge of reading one book, we've also made it a little bit more fun, a little bit more dynamic, and added 9 prompts, a little bingo card that you can tick off if you want to challenge yourself even further. I have quite a few books on my current TBR that do feature women of history, some of which fit the prompts and some of which don't, and I'm never very good at sticking to a set TBR, but I thought it would be quite fun for this video to try and challenge myself to fit some of my books into these prompts. And so let's just get straight into the books. The first challenge on the prompt sheet is to read about a woman from another continent. And I will admit, a lot of my TBR that discusses women in history is very Eurocentric. I definitely need to branch out my reading in terms of reading about women from different continents. However, looking at my current TBR, the group book pick for the month, Women versus Hollywood by Helen, might actually be the perfect slot for this. I'm from England, the continent I live on is Europe, and so reading about women from Hollywood in North America fits perfectly for this prompt. This is just looking at several decades of Hollywood and the way women have been treated throughout those decades and all of the highs and lows that go along with that. The second prompt is royalty and nobility, so we are looking at a woman who was either a member of a royal family or was a member of the nobility of whatever country they lived in. For this I have Game of Queens, the Women Who Made 16th Century Europe by Sarah Gristwood. This is one that I've had on my TBR for quite a while, and going from Catherine de Medici to Elizabeth I and so many other fascinating royal women in between. To be honest, I am quite a fan of a queen. I love a queenly biography, so this is probably one of the easiest prompts for me to answer. Following on from that, prompt number 3 is to read about a group of women. Most of the options for this are kind of like random groupings of women rather than women who were like a group into themselves who actually like joined forces and banded together. But options I have for this are She-Wolves by Helen Castor, looking at some rebellious queens of England. I have Why She Wrote, which is kind of a graphic history of different women writers, predominantly from like the 18th to the 20th century. I have Sex and the City of Ladies by Lisa Hilton, rewriting history with Cleopatra, Lucrezia Borgia and Catherine the Great, talking about women who Christine de Pizan kind of would have barred from her City of Ladies. However, if I'm going to read this, I actually do need to read the original City of Ladies, which is something I have been wanting to read for quite a while, so this might be a very good month to pick it up. I have Glasstown by Isabel Greenberg, which is a graphic novel about the Bronte sisters. So I have several options for this. Prompt number 4 is to read letters, essays, diaries or memoir of a woman of history. And for this prompt I'm using the same book that I used last year because I didn't end up getting round to it, and that is Letters of Great Women, edited by Lucina Hawksley, which is an absolutely stunning collection of different letters of different women throughout history. Prompt number 5 is to read a book about a bad woman, so somebody who was villainized in their time period, whether or not we today would think that was a rightful villainization or wrong. One book that I think would be a good pick for this is Harlots, Whores and Hackabouts by Kate Lister, satisfying my love of reading about the history of sex and sexuality, but also fitting this prompt because a lot of sex workers of history were very much villainized. They're villainized very much today, and I think this would be a really engaging history. Prompt number 6 is to read a book about an underrepresented woman. One of the options I was really considering reading for this was Hidden Figures, which is also one that I think Brittany might be considering for her group of women pick. I absolutely love the film and I'd love to hear more about the real life story. Prompt number 7 is to read about a woman who lived pre the Enlightenment, so roughly pre-1700. I mean, to be honest, most of my books would fit for this. You know, I do really love reading about medieval and early modern women. She-Wolves would fit for this. Uncrowned Queen, which is about Margaret Beaufort, would fit for this. I have a biography of Cecily Neville, so I've definitely got options for this one. Prompt number 8 is to read about women in the arts, whether that is art, photography, literature, music, etc. And once again, I am repeating one of the books that I had for last year because I didn't get round to it and I'm kicking myself about it, but will work very well for this prompt, and that is Sounds and Sweet Airs, The Forgotten Women of Classical Music by Anna Beer. And I think this will work really well for me because I have been getting more into classical music. I'm finding that listening to Radio 3 is really good for when I'm working. It just gets me in that concentration space. So I think it'll be really nice to read about these different women of classical music and listen to the music that they composed alongside it. And then prompt number 9, the final prompt, is to read about women who worked either within or alongside the military or any sort of armed force. My pick for this is very historical and it is Joan Joan by Catherine J. Chen, a book that I've had on my TBR for quite a while, which is all about Joan of Arc, who famously fought for the French army. I've read a couple of chapters of this already and it was really, really beautiful. I just ended up putting it down in favour of something else, but I am very, very keen to get back to this, and I feel like March will be the perfect time to read it, and I'd be really keen to hear about any thoughts you have on this book. So there we go, that is my little rough TBR or pile of possibilities for March and Her-Storyathon. Do let me know if you are planning on participating in this month, and if so, what books are you hoping to read? I would love to hear from you. I hope you're having a fantastic, fantastic day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.